Every year we used to go to LA, every year. It was my dream to retire there, be on Venice Beach, paint, I have my
And Venice
bicycle.
Beach has a ton of murals too.
Yes.
That's very much
Yeah.
the
And actually,
same.
what took me to Venice was what made me go there. We were going for the last 18 years, was the movie Xanadu.
Oh yeah, of
Because
course.
the murals, I was like, that's why all my life, I was meant to be a muralist.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I really believe
You
that was my
felt that.
calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to Venice. On our way back, there was the Rabaa massacre.
Yep.
So the airport was closed.
Yep. That was the day of my 40th birthday.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That day.
That day.
So that day,
Yeah.
your 40th birthday, we
Yeah.
got stuck in London.
Right.
And Omar just thought this was a sign
Not to, yeah.
not to go back. And I remember him sitting in the room, the poor thing, wearing his bathrobe and thinking, what do I do with my family? I can't go back. This is crazy. And me as a pastor, I'm like, come on, it's fine. We'll just go
You
back.
have a thicker skin.
Alas, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It was always Omar was the type that would get, if the kids were sick, he would be the hands-on, bring all the doctors in Cairo over, and I'll be like, "Halas, they just have a fever. It's not a big deal."
And I'm like you. My husband's more
Yeah.
of the mother hen.
Right, he is the mother hen.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting there, and he's like, "Okay, we'll go to Dubai," and we took a hotel room, and I had to find a school in mid-August in Dubai for
Yeah.
the kids. It was a bit of and I was like nonstop crying.
I
hated
remember there
it.
was a massive exodus out of Egypt then.
Yes.
At that same,
Yeah.
a lot of people panicked and didn't go back. Yeah. So you settled here.
So I settled in a flat the size of my bedroom in
Yeah.
Egypt.
Yeah.
You know how
Yeah,
our
of
homes are
course.
big there.
Of
And I
course.
remember praying with all my heart, saying, God, I mean, I used to have all these companies, and now I'm sitting here, I don't know what to do. I don't have workers, like in Egypt, I have workers.
You had your whole team. You
I have a
had developed a team.
huge team.
And taught them.
And taught them,
Of
and been with me
course.
for years. And here I'm in a city where you don't have unemployed people walking around.
So, yeah.
That's also very tricky.
Yeah.
Like I can't hire a painter. I need to bring him from abroad, and a sakino and lodging and insurance. I'm like,
Of course.
so I just sat there and prayed with all my heart. What am I supposed to do now? I'm a workaholic. I'll go nuts.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't just sit here.
And how old were the kids at this point?
13.
Okay. So still you had a few years of schooling in front of you.
Yeah. So I didn't know. Yeah, I went crazy. But my prayers were answered in the most bizarre way. Where a friend of mine in Egypt insisting for such a long time to paint on her bag. And I'm like, why would she want to paint on her Birkin? And
not just any bag, a Birkin.
And she was she kept it, and I never had time. And then finally she's like, you're in Dubai now. Now you can paint my bag. And she brought me the bag, and it just that was it. And I looked up to the sky. I'm like, is this what you had in mind for me? Because it was actually a perfect answer to my prayer, because it's something I can do in my little flat. I didn't have to get a studio. I didn't have to look for workers.
It was just you.
It was just perfect.
Yeah. So that was another light bulb moment for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I had one of my best friends in London had she was one of the third biggest vintage stores, Claudia. And I called her up. I'm like, listen, do you have any bags you haven't sold? She's like, yeah, a lot. I'm like, give them to me. Let's paint them and see what'll happen.
That's clever of you.
And Harvey Nichols just bought all the collections for we were there for 6 years.
So that's what I went.
That's where I started, not Dubai.
But I know, but that's what I meant by saying, did you have a collection that you sold? So you did. You started that way.
I started painting my own collection, and I had no clients in Dubai.
Right.
So I'd be waiting every month for a box from London of vintage bags. I'd paint and
send them back.
And they did so well. I went to the opening, and all the Egyptians in London came and supported me. It was really, really very nice.
So you did the bag. You still do bags, and then Mercedes approached you.
So Mercedes approached me at the lowest point in my life.
Okay.
I had just divorced, unfortunately. That was really tough on me. I lost my father a few weeks after. My kids went off to college. And all of a sudden,
you had three big things at once.
Yeah, and one of my dogs died. It was just like when they say it was just like,
what about? Yeah.
And I had done a bag for Mrs. Gargash, who's the
agent of Mercedes,
the wife of the. And I meet her with Rosamond, bless her. I don't know if you know Rosamond Manji.
Mm-hmm.
She's also someone you should interview. She's
Mm-hmm.
very, and she took me to her by like literally by force. She just, it's like almost like it was a calling. They pulled me. They were trying to pull me out of this dark space I was, because I just felt my entire life crumbling.
And at this point, Janan, you'd been in Dubai how long? A couple of years by then?
Yeah, like 3, 4 years,
Okay.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was already established in the bag business and stuff. And she's like, you know, they had, I don't know how many in the world that they were trying, and they chose me. And I'm like, she's like, no one's going to do it but you. And she kept insisting that you are going to. And I tried, I said, listen, I'm grieving my dad. And she's like, but this might help you, And it was incredible. And I remember sitting and my kids helping me because I wasn't good at computers at the time.
Yeah.
And I had to come up with the design. And I had the design. And I remember my daughter was really good with and my son both helping me with and I gave them the proposal and they were like, yes. And it just.
And that for you, because it's interesting. So when you went to Washington as a young woman, you did it because you were trying to forget something else. And then Dubai, 2 years after you having been here, you threw yourself into your work again,
Yeah.
trying to forget something. So work has always been your mainstay,
Art
right?
saves me.
And it's always been there, your constant saving you.
Art saves
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Art always saves me. It really does.
And how was the reaction to the Mercedes?
My God, it was huge. It
It
was
was
massive,
huge.
massive,
You
massive,
had you
massive.
did one
Millions and
car?
millions of views.
You did one car?
Did one car that was driving around town by all the notables, all the
Yep.
shuyukh, for like, 6 or 8 months, I think.
Uh-huh.
Just everywhere. It was great.
And how long did it take you to do?
3 months.
Yeah, wow.
Mm,
That's a lot.
it's fun.
And how did you come up with the design? Did you think of it yourself, or did they advise
No,
you
no,
as to
no,
what they
no.
wanted?
Totally thought of it myself.
Totally you.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
And
were trying to get the G-Wagon
yeah,
to appeal to women.
I see.
So they felt that the G-Wagon in Dubai is very much a man's car.
Right.
So I did a feminine take on it and we all drove it around to
Nice.
encourage.
And
Yeah.
did it work?
I think it
Did
did,
more
yeah.
women buy it?
I don't know I didn't get the data for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of women driving that car
Maybe,
now.
yeah,
So
maybe,
yeah,
maybe. But they did this whole video, she's Mercedes, she's Janan campaign. It was really great. And then we
nice.
had a big opening at the Leila Heller Gallery. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
And everybody, so many people flew in from Egypt. Like that's what I mean by Egyptians are really good.
yeah,
I love them with all my heart.
yeah.
I get like
Well, your very close friends are Egyptian.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
But it's interesting that you also decided to stay on in Dubai. It
Yes,
became your home.
yes.
So
It's been very good to me.
even though you moved here not wanting to be
Not
here,
work.
but then it became completely your home.
Yes.
What's your legacy? How do you want to be remembered?
I know it sounds cliche. I want to be remembered for how I made people feel. I like to I like the people who I love to know that they were loved. Um, I don't know if I'm going to keep if any of these clients are going to keep their bags till after I'm gone. Not sure. They'll have much
What?
of a legacy
They'll
that
hand
way.
them down to their girls and their
Most of my
sons
walls
and
in DC have been
yeah,
rebuilt, so I've only have one mural left, literally
yeah,
one mural left. Even that restaurant I did, several restaurants have all been changed, so there's
yeah,
not much legacy in that.
yeah.
So
But I think, Kamen, the legacy is what you've instilled in your kids. That's a huge impact. And that
know,
goes down in generations, Bardu.
I always cared about my kids not being zombies. I always cared that I wanted my kids to have passion.
Yeah.
I wanted them to have a passion to this is what's very important for me, and they do.
And
Thank
they
God.
do. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And that's partly because of when they were kids, they were not doing stuff just to pacify them, right?
Yes, yes,
They
yeah.
were having to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janan, thank you so much.
Really?
This was perfect.
Was it?
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
That was really great. Thank you, Habibti.
Thank you.